Good day, everybody. My name is Oluwatosin Samuel. I'm a speculator in the financial market, and I bring you the weekly outlook for the first week in the month of March, which spans from the second day up to the sixth day. And very here we are looking at the economic calendar. And we can see I filtered based on just impact news and uh, non-economic news. I'm looking at both only euro and the US dollars, and that's because I only trade a few pairs, which includes these two. And very quickly to the event side, we have the Institute of Stati Institute of Supply Management data release on Monday, the manufacturing PMI numbers. On Tuesday, nothing to expect. On Wednesday, we have the ADP non-farm employment change. We have the services PMI again on Wednesday as well. Thursday, unemployment claims, average hourly earning for the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and we have the core retail sales number. And non-farm employment change, NFP, and also the unemployment rate. And we can see the expectation for price. Most of them are expected to reduce a little bit, and this is a bit of an expectation of lower numbers from the US dollars, which means it could be a slightly weak week, and that is outlook fundamentally. But and also there's development in the concerning geopolitical tension, and I'm sure you've read the news in Iran over the weekend. So the expectation for Monday morning will be that we are going to have gap gaps in the market, and this will not just be just some markets, but mostly every pair that is affected by the US dollars. We're expecting Euro USD, which is what I'm looking here. This zero futures to gap up. We're expecting gold to gap up. Yes, it's a bit mixed, but we're expecting a gap down. That will be my expectation. Bitcoin is even more difficult to evaluate because it has not been considered a safe haven asset for a while now. And we used to tell people may just decide to continue the sell or perhaps think gold is at all-time highs, it's not worth it to put money into it and just buy Bitcoin instead. And I'll show you something on the chart that I figured out on Friday. So this is the monthly candle for Euro futures. We see that we printed an inside candle last month. Last week as well, printed an inside candle inside bar for the week. And on the daily, we have the market seeming to have found a bottom somewhere around 1.78 and it seems to be consolidating. And with the expectation for concerning the geopolitical tension, there might be a gap up. And who is to tell? The market may start taking highs. That should be the expectation for Monday. And if I switch quickly to 30 minutes and just look at this is the weekly profile, by the way. See, I will made an inside candle. And generally, what I see, which is perhaps the only thing I see delaying us right now, is this year anchored viewer, and it has supported price mostly throughout since the start of the year. It resisted price last year. I haven't tried to catch a good buy here, but I didn't see any bullish momentum. I saw the reversal on Monday. So we see that it resisted price as well on Thursday. On Friday, it also gave us some issues. So if we can accept above it, perhaps use it as a test, we could look to the upper horizon. And that will, as possibly the previous month opening price. If we break through, ways to tell, it might make new highs. So going to gold, the asset I so much like to speculate on intraday. I so much like to tell it on good because it is very fast, especially during a major session open. I don't know why my internet is slow this afternoon. It has been really buggy. And perhaps 30 minutes chat on through the line where there's nothing here. I want to show you something, but it will be in Bitcoin later on. Why is this thing hugging like this? And perhaps I'll pause for a few minutes so I don't, this thing doesn't take too much time. Where do I pause? God, I don't even know where to pause. Um, I don't know why this has been hugging a lot. I don't think it's supposed to be okay. That's included. So we have gold as well, printing an inside candle for the month. On the weekly side, we have a break above, and they just look like there's a gap here. That's because of the close price in futures. It actually closed very strongly bullish. And I can see we continued higher last week. And on a daily, the network over here in Nigeria is it's been very uh, worrying. So I did mark a level here last week as a potential resistance. We broke above and retested on Tuesday. I did not catch the buy, and it's afterwards I was just looking at my level and I was very pained. So I'm going to withdraw my levels on the CFD side because that is what I focus on. As you can see, I have delay on this chart. I don't have the paid chart. So we did have a break above and the test, and gold continued bullish. And the Friday close is actually closed much higher, much stronger on Friday on gold. I'll show you in a minute. And we have a market continuing higher. Very clear move 30 minutes candle, and we'll see how gold closed for the week. We actually continued buying until the end of the session last week. You can see how far high we did close. And I want to show you something um, volume profile wise. So see that the most impressive value came on Friday. I catch a bit of it, but it was painful because I was watching the 12 o'clock and 9 o'clock candle before 2. I knew that most likely early by 2 o'clock when the New York session opened. So I was trying to get in by 12 and 1. I couldn't get the position. I later got it by around, I believe around 2 o'clock. Got some part of the move when it traced, I closed and then got some more position. But I could have entered right here. I tried. But that is not the excuse. So we have good just just going higher. And if you look at it for this week, the very first level I believe we are going to get to, which will be very quick even on Monday, is the contract open right here, which is also where the value area high for the last week in January is. So this is what looking at. It is the daily open candle for the 29th of January. That will be a very good target level at first for gold. We may actually go higher because I'm expecting this thing to gap up. I don't know how much gap we're going to get, but that will be very significant. Even if it comes down, the first level to look at is the bearish engulfing high from Tuesday. That should be a very good support level for good prices for more upside. So let's go here very quickly. I don't like the way this is taking so much time. So yes it has been a bit that it has had a bit of a bearish tone to it, and you can see we took the previous one slow, although we did manage to ping from it. Ping from it, it's a pin bar, but it doesn't take away the fact that we took the previous one. And gold and ES as well, Islamic currency has also been consolidating. So we made this candlestick range on the 21st week, and the second week we traded inside the range. Um, Third week we did break the low of the previous week, but we did close higher. Last week we broke the high, which has expected us to continue. We wanted to go higher, but you see this rejection, and we have an angle to this trend, which I'm sure many of our trend line trends are getting something like this right now. It is something you can add as well. I also look at that, but I don't use it to make direct decisions in the market. Daily candlestick, we have this or this this awful consolidation. So we've been going high, coming back lower, going high, coming back lower. And there was something even funny on profile wise. Okay, I did say if you if you spread the profile for I believe almost around since last week, we see that whenever we made an up close profile, we made a down close for the next day, and then an up close, and then a down close, and then an up close. That was the common theme. I was even tempted to trade that, but I didn't. So I said yes, and P is it's a bit tricky. If we do gap up and continue up, I'm expecting that we should claim above this anchored value for the year, which has been very relevant in the past. And if we do claim above, we should stay above it. But in most of the speculation will actually be for a gap down because we might enter into another the sell American dollar narrative, which will be make a gap down. And if we do gap down and close beyond this range of 6,800 and we do find acceptance below, we might really go down. And something you might want to check really is the seasonal tendency on S&P 500. We tend to always close lower from around March to June. I don't know if I can show you that very quickly. Um, where is that? I did see it on my phone. I don't know what I was checking the other day. Yes, but you can check this is not tendency. So we do tend to close lower than the March opening price based on the on last year's data. I believe 2 years ago we did close a bit higher, but just a little bit. So we have to check that on S&P 500 as well. And right now moving to Bitcoin, which I do find interesting. And what I find interesting, I'll tell you guys in a few minutes. So Bitcoin has been in the downtrend. There's been no light to that. See this gap down during the weekend. And we closed bearish for the month. For the weekly, we did trade inside the first weekly range throughout the entire month. Although we do have an angle downwards and a bearish offer last for the last week. On the daily candlestick, we have this on Bitcoin. This is the CME chart, right? And this is what I found on Tuesday last week. See this Tuesday close candle. We have an indecisive candlestick, which made some sort of dragon. What do you call it? Is it dragon candlestick? A Nobi candlestick, a doji candlestick. So we had this doji candlestick. But look at the volume close on the delta side. Although we do have the candle closing bearish, but see volume wise, we close strongly bullish. And next day, we had very little in time of activity, but we close very bullish. And if you look at the perpetual contract on this is the Binance perpetual contract, and look at the daily, we have retested this Tuesday candlestick, and we came here yesterday Saturday, and we had a strong rejection of lower prices, and we closed back up. And this is one thing I found interesting. If you go to the 30 minutes time frame right now, and you look at the volume into the cumulative volume data, we have this is where the candle turned around on Tuesday, and you can see this series of buy of buying pressure, and this is exactly 4 candle pace. This 230 candlestick to 4 o'clock or 4:30. This is exactly where we came on Saturday. This candlestick range, and we have price rejecting strongly. Look at this this move down. only to reach this level and get rejected and make a V-shaped reversal, which is showing that something may be up in Bitcoin. So for me right now, I'll be looking for daily highs. That will be my play. I'm going to be looking at daily highs for trades. May even be willing to long Bitcoin long term and swing trade this asset. But mostly I'll be awake from time is fast spent. I'll be awake during the middle of the night today, just looking for trades. If there isn't too much gap in most of these assets, I may be willing to trade them overnight. Mostly my attention will be fixed more on Bitcoin because we have been down for a very long time. And like I said, um, this thing may turn around. It may turn around. But mostly, I'm not open to trade unless I see definite trade at highs. I may be willing to risk small just to enter. And perhaps we take weeks high then add to the position and so on and so forth. That is if this Tuesday can just stick does hold like it is holding right now. Or perhaps even a retest. If we get a retest, I may be so akin to looking at it. So that is the analysis for the, the week to come, guys. USD, a gap of expectation, continuation to your side. Gold, a very strong continuation, strong buy. S&P, a bit, a bit in between. And maybe I show you just something in S&P. And this. I didn't notice this on the CVD as well. Look at this buying pressure. We changed from a delta of around 8k to 155k, and the candle printed just this small candle. So much buying pressure, as indicated by political letter here, but so little change in price. So if we continue upward, we might go really high, but the scenario to prepare for will be a downward scenario. So that is it, guys, for this week. Good luck and good trade. I'll see you guys next week. Bye for now.